It is the Outdoor Oasis Podcast. Let's have some fun today with my guest, Orlando. Thanks for coming out. Yeah.
No worries, brother.
All right, man. So, what's it technically now? I know it's OG Seawalls and Docks. Is that what it is? Or outside projects?
Yep, ONG Outside Projects.
My fault.
No, you're good, brother. Like you're good.
Yeah. But you guys know that throughout my networking and what I do for my business, I'm always trying to work with the best people for outdoor living stuff. And Orlando is definitely one of my favorite guys that I've come across in the industry. Not only that, he's not only very fun and always got a lot of positive energy, but very knowledgeable. So he's got a great story. So I wanted to bring him on here and talk to you guys about what he does and his story and how he can bring some useful info for you guys. So why don't you start off by just letting people know kind of your background, how you got in the industry.
Of course. Well, first of all, I want to say, Dave, I appreciate you inviting me on and giving me the opportunity to share some of my experiences and knowledge with the viewers. It's a relatively, inspirational story by some standards. Immigrant parents came to the U.S. My father started this business back in 2005. I started working with my father at the early age of 18. I graduated high school, Dave. It was my first job. I didn't do anything else. I didn't know anything else. So started building docks, with my own two hands since I was 18. We kind of kept it going, kept the company, kept the vision. My father was a big influence on helping me and guiding me in terms of knowledge and quality and what matters. And, I want to say, 12 years later, here we are. Now it went from just me, my dad, and Miguel, just us three working out on the field, building these docks with our own two hands and kind of learning by, banging your fingers with a hammer every once in a while, just the lessons that the trade teaches you, to now having two crews and having exited out of the field and in a managerial position and sales position. But it did help. The 10 years of experience 100% helps when I'm out there talking to the client and explaining, because I had hands-on experience.
And that's so rare, man. But that's ideal, is for somebody who's actually been there and done it. They know the different things that can come up, what to look for, all that different stuff. So I think you're in a perfect role for you. With your personality, man, you should have been in sales the whole time. The fact that you've got all that experience as an installer, you're just, man, the sky's the limit for you.
Of course, man.
So I'm excited to see, where you guys go. You just recently got accredited, right, by the Better Business Bureau?
Yeah, man. We actually just got accredited Better Business Bureau, A+ rating on there. Very lucky to have that. Not everybody can be accredited. Not everybody is accredited. It is definitely a privilege.
Nice, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let everybody know kind of what it is you do. So you guys, docks and seawalls is the main thing that I know that you guys do, but you also do some pergolas and decks and everything as well, right?
Correct. So we do a lot of, woodwork. So if it has to do with woodworking and it's not interior home framing, let's say you have a nice paved patio and you want to build a roof over the whole thing because you want to put a hot tub or an indoor kitchen, and you don't want to, it's Florida. You don't want to, you're going to cook faster than your food is. So you're going to need some coverage if you want to do like an outdoor scenario, outdoor kitchen. So not only we do docks, we also do decks, we do seawalls, boat lift installation, custom boat houses, and we also do custom pergolas and or roofs in the backyard of your home if that's something that you're looking for. Yeah.
That's sweet, man. So yeah, we were talking about, the different experiences that you've been through. I know you shared some with me. I don't know if you want to share it here or not, but it's great that, I know there's times where you've talked about experiences where, it might have cost you money, but, you stuck to your word and you stuck to what you said you were going to do. So, I want this to be a useful resource for people who are buying. So all those things that services you provide, is there any, tips that you want to share with homeowners as far as what to look for and things that you've been through,
100%, 100%. From my own personal experience of not only being the salesperson for my business and going out there and talking to, a great quantity of different people, I've also actually had work done on my house personally.
Yeah.
So that gave me the humbling experience of putting myself in the shoes of my client, right? So a couple of things I want to let you guys know as the viewers. If you're going to have, a contractor come in to do a dock or a deck or a seawall, it's just like anything, right? You go to the store and you have 15 different brands of TVs. Not everything's a Sony, not everything's a Samsung, not everything's an LG. So you really gotta do your due diligence when you are hiring a contractor. You wanna make sure that they have a website. You wanna make sure that there are some references. You wanna make sure that they have some reviews. You need to make sure that you can see these people's work, because a lot of the times the sales guy's job is to go out there and make a sale, not to go out there and give you what you're looking for, which is, they're two different things, right? So as a homeowner, I really will say do your due diligence, right? And even though there's a contractor that's $10,000 more expensive than the other contractor, if the contractor that's $10,000 more expensive has a website, has reviews, has accreditations, has licenses, has insurance, I urge you, pay the extra 10, because the other contractor can come in, do a slap job, leave, and you'll never see him again.
Yeah.
And then what do you have? You know, you saved yourself $10,000, but you now have 10,000 headaches.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So the first job that we went out to was one in Clearwater, I remember, and you had already done like 3 others on that.
Yep.
Because obviously
Yeah.
you're dealing with people on the water, so
Correct.
there's not, as many people who have that situation. So, a lot of times, and there's not a lot of competition for you, right? I mean, I think there's only 2 or 3 other guys.
Yeah, not a whole lot of guys. Yeah, there's a bunch of other guys, but there's not many that are actually licensed
Right.
and insured. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing illegal work, and that's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
So there's definitely not a lot of big guys with the resources that you're supposed to have. That is 100% accurate.
Right. Okay. And then as far as the materials that you guys use, are there different options, or is it just kind of one thing that you can standard use for the seawall? How does that work?
So, when it comes down to the materials used on docks and or seawalls, there's a couple of things where I would urge the homeowner to get informed on. Number one, the type of decking, okay? Be informed yourself, right? Because I can go in there and I can tell you I'm an expert, and I can tell you that, the sky is green and the water is yellow. And if you didn't do your due diligence and or, do some research on your own beforehand, you're going to go ahead and just take what I'm saying for the truth. I say do a little bit of research on the type of decking that you would like. There's a lot of synthetic deckings out there. There's more than one brand. Not all of them are great. Not all of them offer the same quality or, insurance or the same kind of, hey, if our product isn't good, within 25 years, we will replace it. So the warranties are important. In terms of the framing or the bare bones, you would say that's pretty much standard, right? Everybody pretty much uses the same stuff. So nobody can come in and say, oh, the 2x8s that I use are better than Joe Schmo's from down the street. That's just not accurate, right? What really matters is the building techniques, Joe. Dave. The building techniques are the essential part of the dock. The materials are important because it's cost. If you want to be a little bit cheaper and get a synthetic decking that's still good but not top of the line, that's an option. But the technique is really what matters there in terms of the build. For seawalls now, seawalls are a little different. Seawalls, they have all sorts of different panels, whether it's box panels, Z panels, or straight panels, right? They're all made out of the same synthetic vinyl material, but there's 2 ways that panels are made, okay? There's co-extrusion, which is basically the amount of recycled plastic with virgin plastic, right? Some people will use way more recycled plastic than virgin plastic because it's cheaper, right? And then they'll sell you a top-of-the-line product, but the actual process through which that product is made is not the greatest.
So how would anybody be able to tell?
You would have to, if you're going to go with a contractor and he says, yeah, it's going to be, this much money for your vinyl seawall, the question as a homeowner would be, hey, what brand of seawall do you use? Who do you use? Do you use Vanguard? Do you use ESP? Who do you use? What can you tell me about that brand? And if the contractor has no idea what the pros and cons are on that material, automatic red flag.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there one that you recommend?
Yeah, I do. I recommend ESP. ESP has a 50-year warranty on it in terms of if anything were to happen to the material. It's also one of the very few brands that would offer a transferable warranty, Dave. Meaning, if I sell the house and there's 20 years left on my warranty, I can pass that over to the new homeowner.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So I imagine, I know you guys were really busy, obviously, with the hurricanes last year. Just curious, I mean, how's things going with that? I mean, are people still working on those from the hurricanes? Like, is that something insurance covers, or people are still fighting with that? Or
that was one of the biggest battles, Dave. Getting the insurance to cover the dock was just immensely hard. Insurances don't cover on docks anything that is not wind damage. So if the storm, the waves hit the dock and the waves is what caused the dock to shift, move, break apart, they don't cover that. Now, if the winds did it, which, come on, let's be real, how is wind alone gonna take boards out from underneath? You know, that's not happening.
So
but
have you seen insurance coverage at all?
Not at all.
No.
None of the docks that I've done within the last year after the hurricanes have been covered by insurance. It's been out of pocket by homeowners. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, how long can people expect a project like that to take?
So, every project kind of varies on timing. It depends on the square footage. Like, I can give you a couple different examples. Like, a 400 square foot dock can be a week and a half. 600 to 700 square foot dock can be 2 weeks. And then anything above 1,000, now we're looking at 3 weeks to a month. You know what I mean?
Okay, but you got to get this permitted, right?
Always got to get it permitted.
Okay. So, in reality, I mean, if somebody, like, let's say somebody was looking to sell their house and they want to get this done so they can hopefully sell it faster, you got to give yourself, 3 to 6 months?
Easily. Yeah. The permitting process, it takes its time. You can't control how the county does its work. You can't control how long they take. As our part, we have our drawings and all our paperwork. That's done within the first week and a half, and then that's turned in to the county once the homeowner approves of the design and everything. That's submitted to the county. Now, from the time that it reaches the county's hands to the time that it reaches our hands could be 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that gives a pretty good idea of at least that portion of it, the seawalls and the docks and whatnot. Anything else you want to mention specifically about decks or pergolas or anything?
Oh yeah, 100%. In terms of decks, don't let a contractor come in sometimes and lie to you about needing a permit and charging you an extra amount. A lot of the times when you're building a deck, you don't need a permit. You can actually build a deck in the back of your house as long as it's not 3 feet or higher from the ground and it causes no insurance issues. You can actually get that deck built without needing a permit. So if a contractor comes in and tries to tell you, hey, it's going to be $2,500 for the permit to build, this deck, I urge you to do your own research and call the county yourself and make sure that that's true. Sometimes it's not.
There you go.
Yep.
Cool. All right, and then I guess the last thing is, I also want this to be hopefully helpful for other small business owners in the outdoor living space, but in general too. I mean, if there's anything specifically that you know now that you wish you would have known, or advice for small business owners in general, what's been working for you?
Yeah,
it's tough out there, dude.
Yeah, trust me. When it comes down to our work and what we do, it's not an easy job by no means. I would say, try to make as many friends as possible. Try to make as many connects as possible. Try to learn from anybody. Networking is so important, and a lot of people kind of don't pay too much attention to that because, they're so focused in the now and the then that they're not focused in the future. And as a small business owner, I say your eyes and your focus should always be in the future. That way, every single decision you make is tailored towards that end goal. Go out there, network, and learn from others. I would say knowledge is key and money management is very, very important. Don't let the money get out of hand and don't let the money get to your head. Remember, stick to quality, honesty, and be direct. Be upfront. Give your client a clear expectation. Your reputation will carry you.
Absolutely, I agree. Good stuff, man. All right. Anything else in general you want to add?
No, man, I think that's it. I think, the homeowner, hey, do your research, call a different couple people, kind of get the feel for what the numbers are, compare and contrast, ask the right questions, hey, what are your certifications? Are you insured? Can you give me some references, pictures, reviews? All those things are important when making a decision.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
So he's definitely my guy whenever I need to bring somebody in. If you guys want to contact him, what's the best place to get a hold of you? What's your website name?
Yeah, man. If you guys want to go to O&G outsideprojects.com. That's O&G outsideprojects.com. You can feel free to go on our website. We have a bunch of our work there, our insurances, our licenses. We're also on the Better Business Bureau. So if you guys go on the Better Business Bureau and you look up ONG Outside Projects, we'll be there as well.
Are you guys on Instagram too?
We are on Instagram as well. So Instagram, Facebook, it's all going to be with the same name, ONG Outside Projects. Perfect. I mean, it's just a brand.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hit him up. This guy's good, man. So thanks again for joining us.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
See you guys next time.